growing up, a lot of the children media was a little white boy. And everybody knew, everybody had accepted that as that little white boy could be the icon to encourage and inspire us all.
This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, your media hub for all things Black entrepreneurship, politics, news, and events in Hampton Roads and beyond.
Wouldn't you like to be a guest on Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham? Well, the link is in the show notes.
And now, here's your host, Blair Durham.
Greetings.
Stay locked in.
Welcome to this 132nd edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. So excited to share with you. Time to get into today's show. So excited to share with you. Our first guest is Miss Gloria Williams. She is the founder of Unmute Me House. Gloria Celicia Lynn Williams, aka Miss Glow, is an artist, storyteller, and presence advocate who lives by the motto, Unmute Me. As an overcomer of a life bound by insecurity, she uses her gifts to empower others to embrace the courage to be. Gloria stands by the mantra that what makes us different is what makes us needed. You don't have to compromise who you are to change where you are. Conquer the world, but don't forget to be. I am encouraged. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. I am so thankful for being on the show today. I'm well.
As am I. So good to see you and hear about the great work that you are doing. It sounds like it's more than music, more than poetry. Where is Unmute Me going? What are you doing now?
So right now I'm focusing on children media because the whole premise behind Unmute Me is presence and confidence of being fully present wherever you are. And I know that's something I struggle with majority of my life. And I believe that it's a thing that many people of color struggle with as well, because we don't normally have those natural connections. We might not have like our whole life planned ahead of us. And so that's how I became very, very passionate about cultivating that in children so that when they get to these boardrooms, when they get to bigger rooms, they're confident enough to be exactly who they are, to show up, make those necessary connections that they need to have intentional development.
Love that. I think you've hit on a gold mine in terms of just an opportunity to really connect with our group, as you mentioned, and open up something that was not there before. Awesome. Do you want to share a bit more about your own story, your journey, and kind of getting to this point?
Yeah, sure. So all my life up until my later 20s, my family called me a functional mute. And so like I had the ability to speak, but I was very, very shy. Like even in my household, I did not talk much. And it wasn't until around 25, I was called into ministry. And then they started calling me a mute with a message. And I came out with my first CD entitled Unmute Me. And my brother actually came up with a title. And so at first I thought it was all about my voice, like God unmute my voice. But as it has evolved and I started living out my life unmuted, I saw it was like, oh no, it was not just your voice. You weren't there. Like you were physically there, but you weren't there. Like I was invisible, like in most spots. A lot of times I wanted to be because of insecurity. Like I didn't want people to see me, but I knew a lot of it was fear because it felt like the more I advanced, like that, the less I would be, like my population would be. And so like I would get to honor levels and I'd be like maybe the only Black girl. And so like, on top of me already being insecure, then me feeling like, I have no one to relate to. I think that made me shut down even more and just like not confident in like, are they going to say I sound like this country bunk? Like all these little things of like not being fully confident in who I am. And then going to corporate America and like, oh gosh, I literally would change my hairstyle. It's so crazy. It's so crazy that I think about this stuff now. It's like I would go in one way to come home and change my hair, like all those things. Like I was not there. I was not fully present. And I want And I know because of that, I missed out on so many opportunities of connecting and so many opportunities of being like intentional, growing and directing in the way I want to go. And I want to help encourage, especially our youth, that instill that in them at a young age, so that when they get to those spaces that they can take full advantage of the opportunities that come in front of them.
It's an interesting point, right? I'm thinking about so many things. I have a background in psychology and sociology, and I'm thinking of my own experience and feeling like as a child, I was just a child. But over time, the fear developed, right? It grew. And then I realized, like you said, in my 20s that I was afraid. I would be in, for example, in staff meetings, and I would want to say something, but I would feel my heart palpitations. I'm like, man, they have to be audible because they're scared of me, right? But I don't remember that same level of fear, say in high school, and I can also kind of relate to what you were saying about changing my hairstyle. I can remember going into interviews and I would wear a wig like over my locks because I felt like, it's just such a big topic. So how are you planning to work with the youth, or how are you already working with them? Is it more of are you taking a direct approach? Is it like, what's the kind of your curriculum or your design around working with young people?
Okay, so right now I'm doing initiatives. So I wrote my first children's book called Don't Forget to Be, and it has a companion song as well. And
wow.
So what I do is I advocate the book and the song, and I do this thing called Glow Up the Classroom, where I like go visit classes virtually, and so how I relate presence to children, I say light, and that's why I always wear yellow. It's like I say like presence is your light, like let your light shine wherever you go, let it like be lit up in that room, and so that's how I like translate what presence is to children. But right now, that's been the major thing that I'm like starting with is the book and the song, and just getting out there and just getting that message, because I didn't really hear that, I really didn't hear that message growing up of presence, growing up. And I think it is very important. And not only that, but, like of Black representation in children's media as well. And I feel like it can, it literally, I believe it's a form of liberation. I really do, because growing up, it seems like, and I had to check myself when I was developing this, because, growing up, a lot of the children media was a little white boy, and everybody knew, everybody had accepted that as that little white boy could be the icon to encourage and inspire us all. But then as we evolved and we have multiple representations in books, but then we have that mindset of that when we see an Asian girl, that she is only empowering Asian girls. When we see and so like we limit the expansion of what they can do. And it's like, and I had to check myself. I was like, oh, wow. Like I didn't think like, no, like you can create the literature and like my story is a young Black girl. And like the Black girl, she can inspire not just a young Black girl. She can inspire the entire world. Like, Absolutely. And so I feel like those things, children media, we have the opportunity to change perspectives that are faulty, like at a very young age, because the only reason we think like that is because that's what we were, that's what we saw. Images are powerful. And for you to think that, if you think that, the little white boy is, the hero, like that's what you are thinking that.
And then those media images were reinforced by every other image, along with our actual lived experience, watching white boys get opportunities that we didn't get. So you're right, that if we can start by at least changing that narrative, the media piece, it can change so many other things for us, Powerful. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you. So part of me is like, I want to hear the companion song. I don't know if it's appropriate to ask, like, are you doing a song today? How you feeling?
I mean, of course, I can do the song.
Are you open? Okay.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, we are chatting with Gloria Williams. She is the founder of Unmute Me House, and she is focused on presently empowering little people to understand who they are and to be fully present in the moments where they find themselves. So I am encouraging her to perform the companion songs to her newly released book, if she'd be so kind. She's an incredible singer. I happen to know that about her.
So I'll sing a cappella is brave the deepest ocean, climb the highest tree, explore the world near and far, but don't forget to be. Smile the brightest smile, give your best cheerfully, spread joy to the world, but don't forget to be. Ask the boldest questions, dream the biggest dreams, change the world with your imagination, but don't forget to be. There are endless possibilities in this world you can choose, and the greatest of them all is simply being you. So be bold, be true, be free, be you. There's only one quite like you, you see. Conquer the world, but don't forget to be.
Oh my goodness, I felt all of that.
Thank you.
So nice. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to learn about how I can purchase it and share it with my little people who are musical people. Tell us about where we can find your work.
So my website is www.iamgloriawilliams.com. On social media is at I Am Gloria Williams on Facebook or Instagram, but everything is on my website. So if you go to iamgloriawilliams.com, you'll see how to purchase books, music, and you'll see the links to all my social media. And you also see some pictures of some of the work that I've done.
Awesome. Okay. Where are we going from here, Gloria? So we got the first book done. I love the virtual classroom pieces. What I'm looking at says Unmute Me House, though. What does that mean? Where are we taking this? Can I ask?
My ultimate goal is I want to develop an organization that helps children with expressing their voice through their artistry, but also, so my background is in business, and then I'm also an artist. I want to help the artists build their the entrepreneur mindset around their artistry. Like I always say, I want to help disband part of the cliche, the starving artist. Like I want people to have the freedom to create, and also have a mindset to, like, even if it's multiple streams of income, so that they can support their art. And so that's my ultimate goal is to have an organization. And so this is like the beginning stages of just getting known, getting recognized, getting the word out about presence, finding the people, my tribe in that niche of like who is supported, and growing and developing into that area. But I'm really excited about taking all the steps. Like all of this literally just started in the pandemic. So
the pandemic was an inspiration for many. I'm excited. And we have to connect offline. I know some people that I think are your tribe. A few people come to mind. This is really, really exciting. I pulled up the website, iamgloriawilliams.com. Don't forget to be the book cover there on the homepage. Wow. This is beautiful.
Love
your gift. Love your gift.
You.
So are you writing the next story already, or?
So right now, and I want to put this little part about the story. So the character in the book, so it's so many dimensions to the book. The character in the book is my little sister who was stillborn, and her name is Harmony Peace. And so the tagline in the book and in the song as well, like the talking piece is, on our quest for success, we often forget that the greatest things in life are free. To live in harmony and peace, don't forget to be. And so there's many elements to it. And so right now, what I am doing is I'm working on curriculum around presence and around the book, because I've noticed, like, when I go volunteer stuff, I want to help create some lesson plans and stuff that help support the teachers to have like some fun lesson plans, but I also wanted to be aligned with the SOLs and the standards that they already have in place, so it can be something that can enrich their curriculum. So that's something that I'm working on right now, is like just expanding the book and creating more materials that I can use when I do virtual, and hopefully next year some in-present school visits that I have, not just singing and reading, but I actually have a lesson, lesson plans that coincide with what the teachers are already teaching.
Yeah. A critical point you raised was around entrepreneurship and music. For whatever reason, over the last 6 to 8 months, we've attracted a number of artists to the show, musicians in particular, poets in particular. And I always like to ask that question, right? Because our show is inherently about business, what was the process, and just hearing so many horror stories that turned into significant lessons for artists that are trying to find, how is this going to be sustainable? Because ultimately, if I can't put food on my table, we have a real challenge here. So I like hearing that that's another area where you want to build curriculum, because I believe that, there's a lot of empowerment around art happening, but not necessarily around the sustainability piece. Thank you for that. Yeah. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was just saying, I was just agreeing.
Yeah. So in your mind, is that, what does that look like? Is that like a summer camp? Is that some asynchronous modules you want to create? Or how are you planning to build that?
Well,
or is it already in the works?
I don't know. So with the entrepreneur piece, that's not in the works yet, but I know we'll start off with more so a mentorship program, because I really like some of the mindsets and just the pieces. I know it's intricate, that you really want to help develop some leaders. So I know it's going to be a mentorship program, so that I can but that is not, it's not fully in place yet, but I know it will start off that way when it comes to like building strategy and business. Like you really would have to have significant time and commitment with the people who will be involved. And so the students that will be involved. So there will have to be some level of like a mentorship a program that accountability and commitment. And so that's like one of the first steps, is doing that. And I'm planning to do that next year.
Awesome. Piece by piece.
Yes.
all morning long, I have been thinking, looking at one of Aesop's fables yesterday with my 3-year-old, just thinking about how, just by staying the course, we get where we are going. It's not necessarily about flying to get there, just one foot in front of the other, slowly but surely we'll make all these things happen. I'm so proud of you and all that you are doing. This is exciting.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm glad we are connected. This is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely got to connect offline. If you would reiterate your website again and how folks can access what you're working on.
Yeah, so my website is iamgloriawilliams.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook at iamgloriawilliams. And so you will find out all the information about me, what's happening, if I ever put any events up there. And you can see all of my work as well.
Okay. And if I am an educator and I'd like to have you come into my classroom or come into my school, how can I connect with you for that?
And you can go onto my website and submit a contact.
Okay. Perfect. I'm going to be sharing that out for sure. Even to folks that I know that teach music in area high schools that would love to have you there. I think, I'll be doing that today.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Glad to hear about this again. Awesome. We have about 2 minutes remaining. Is there anything that you want to share in closing?
I would say just for, especially for us, for the Black community, and to try to do as much as you can to encourage and empower the children around you, and be very observant. And because sometimes a lot of students could be very, very shy or very quiet, and you really don't know what the root to that is. And so just try as much as you can to get as much information as you can, to see what their root is, because a lot of them are scared and they just want someone to talk to them or someone to encourage them. And so I am encouraged that I'm doing this, because I've been amazed at some of the children's responses, that they would talk to me in the class, and they're just like, "Oh, I never taught." I'm like, "What?" I did not know. So I was like, "Wow, I didn't know so many people who were like me." They were very, very quiet in there, because I was like, "I don't talk when I go to school," and I'm like, "What?" And so, but it's very important, because some of these are some of the brightest children in the world, and I know they are going to be world changers, but they just need support, and just continue pumping them up, And so I say empower any child you see, find some way to encourage them.
Yeah, give them some energy. I agree. Awesome. Well, this has been great, Gloria. Thanks again for coming onto the show. Certainly look forward to having you back as things progress. Want to stay right there with you as you advance this movement. This is powerful.
Welcome back to Black Wall Street Today on Smooth 88.1 WHOV.
Welcome back to this edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham, talking now with Miss Claudia Walker. She is the founder and CEO of the HBCU Prep School, a resident of Northern California. Claudia is an educator and Spelman graduate who decided to write a children's book about Black colleges as a way to share her experiences in the Atlanta University Center with children around the world, as a way to introduce them to HBCUs. Welcome to the show, Claudia. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Blair.
Thank you for being here. So incredible. Takes me back to my own journey of figuring out where I would go to school and being a first generation college student and all of the things. What kind of led you to writing this book?
Well, as you mentioned, I am an educator. I've worked in middle schools and high schools for almost 15 years. And because I live in Northern California, many of my students never had access or exposure to HBCUs. And so for some of the students, they've either never heard of them, or it's not until potentially their senior year in high school, when the Black College Tour comes around, that they get exposed to this idea of attending an HBCU. And for some of my students, that's just a bit too late. They haven't had a chance to wrap their minds around what it means to go away to school. Many of them are first gen students. So it's not just about their choice. It's about their parents getting, comfortable with this idea of their children moving across the country. And I'm also a mom of 3. And so I often go back to Atlanta, and I would take my daughter onto Spelman's campus just to introduce her to that HBCU experience. And so after one visit, I thought, what would it be like if I had an opportunity to really expose a broader group of students and children to the legacies of Black colleges? And so that was really where the idea to write the book came from.
Yeah, I love it. I'm on your website now, HBCUprepschool.com. So it feels like the vision is much broader than just a book or a series of books. So where are you going with this? I like to ask the big picture question, like, take us where you take it.
Exactly. So as an educator, I always kind of flirted with the idea of starting my own school, and decided that wasn't really what I was supposed to do. And I realized once I started writing this book that the vision, the purpose was much broader, that through HBCU Prep School, which is my publishing company, that I'd be able to write books, to create educational materials, not just for home libraries, but for schools as well, that would expose children to, all the things that I think, from my personal experience, I didn't really learn about Black history until I stepped foot onto Spelman's campus. And so my goal in having this publishing company is that I'll be able to create resources that teach children as early as possible about not just the HBCU experience, but about those leaders in Black history that we sometimes don't learn about until we have the privilege of going to an HBCU.
Yeah. And the ABCs of Black Wall Street coming soon.
Coming soon. Yes. So I'm really excited about that book as well. The publishing company is really about amplifying Black voices in children's literature and about centering Black joy. And so we all know about the devastation in 1921, but the book, The ABCs of Black Wall Street, really doesn't center the terrorizing of Black Wall Street. It really centers the innovators, the businesses, the families, the communities. And so I'm excited to have this book and the different resources that we attach to the book to be a place where our children and our community can really celebrate how innovative people like O.W. Gurley and J.B. Stratford were. So I'm excited about that work that's coming out as well.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm often asked about the Black Wall Street piece. So definitely delighted to hear you say you've taken a bit of a different approach because, as you mentioned, otherwise, how are we going to learn about the innovation that is according to our history? That's super powerful. Yeah.
Absolutely. And how are we centering our experiences and not, this traumatic piece that is absolutely important, but it's not how the story started and it's not how the story ends.
Correct. It's not the be all end all.
Right.
Yeah. Appreciate your vision there for sure.
Thank you.
So I want to ask you this question. I had the opportunity to go to an HBCU, chose to go to a PWI, and I found my fist at that PWI. That it was there that I realized that I was Black and what that meant. Got involved with all manner of student activism, pursued a degree, in sociology and Black studies. But I often think like, man, who would I have been if I had gone to the HBCU, and would I have gotten there maybe incrementally faster, right? What would you say? What is the HBCU experience? And how are you positing that through your literature?
Yeah, so the HBCU experience is for me, and I think for many HBCU graduates or current students is one that is unlike anything else. Prior to going to Spelman, I had attended predominantly white schools. And so that was kind of my lens on the world. It's how do I acclimate? It's how do I perhaps change the narrative or the ideas that people have about who Black people are, what it means to be a Black girl, a Black woman. And when you step onto an HBCU campus, you can kind of take all that off. Instead of defending and trying to, teach, you're able to just be. And instead of being the teacher, you actually become the student. And that's what I really appreciated about the experience. I have 3 children, and I would love for all of them to attend an HBCU, any HBCU. There are over 100, but I recognize that not every school is for everyone. And so the goal of having this publishing company is so that it isn't necessarily about trying to get everybody to go to every HBCU, but it's trying to position our community and our students in a position where they at least have the understanding. They know what their options are. And so if they say, no, actually, this school isn't for me, perhaps I got a better scholarship package from this other institution. Maybe there are no HBCUs in my local community, and for whatever reason, I need to stay close to home. They're able to make an informed decision, and they're not in a position where they're making a decision because they've never heard or they believe this false narrative about what HBCUs are or what they aren't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, powerful. Definitely powerful. I'm in the middle of planning our annual conference, oddly enough. And the theme is HBCU-ish, HBCU-esque. So I'm putting together like some experiences that I wish that I'd had. Like, I won't say on air just yet because I haven't really announced it. But I'm excited because you're right. I mean, what does having that choice create in our young people, right? That level of that ability to be, as you said. We were actually chatting with our first guest about, for whatever reason, that gets taken from us from young, just being able to kind of know our truth, to be able to stand in that truth, and then from there, live out something of value, right? So I think it's definitely powerful work that you're doing. Where else are you going with this?
I'm going wherever the spirit leads me. I'm
flashcards, I see stickers, I see bookings. Like, where else are you going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really positioning this publishing company to be the leading education company for children's books about the Black experience. And so, this is really putting on my educator hat, my mom hat, my activist hat, and
your entrepreneur hat, really.
And my entrepreneur hat, absolutely.
Wow.
And what I really love about it, Blair, is that it gives me an opportunity to work with so many other artists. And so the illustrator for the ABCs of Black Wall Street and of HBCUs is also an HBCU alum, but I have activity books. We have coloring books coming out that also are where I'm also have an opportunity to work with other Black artists and to support their businesses as well, support their entrepreneurial ventures as well. So I'm really excited about the business in general.
Yeah, you got to connect with our first guest. IamGloriaWilliams.com. She wrote a super powerful book, Don't Forget to Be.
Ooh,
it's amazing.
I love that.
She has a companion song, which she sung during the first segment. IamGloriaWilliams.com. So we'll put this show together. Shout out to the team. This is dynamic.
I love that.
No, I love what you're doing. We have within our network a nonprofit that focuses on diversity in literature, specifically ensuring that we have books that are culturally affirming. So she makes sure that that literature is then placed in our public schools and in our libraries. It is an intense effort on her part to undo a lot of the issues around representation, racism, discrimination. And so I see what you're doing as a direct, affront to a lot of these systems.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the work that she's doing, because I know from my own perspective, from talking to different educators, leaders, librarians, that it is, like you said, it's a lot of work of trying to undo what's already been done and making sure that our young people have books that reflect their experience or allow them to dream bigger than they might have otherwise. So, yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And I see you're on the speaking circuit as well, talking about entrepreneurship. So are you mostly talking with children?
I'm talking with children. Yeah. I've had I've had some pretty large corporations reach out to me and ask me to talk to their organizations about how to reach out and how to reach out to students who are HBCU either graduates or who are, currently students, around internships, around diversifying workforces, about the importance of and the impact of HBCUs. So it really ranges. I've always kind of grown up in the Black church. So I love public speaking and, anything around entrepreneurship, around literacy, around how to make sure that we are doing affirming work in educational spaces within our communities and even in our homes is right up my alley.
Yeah. We've got about 2 minutes remaining. Please share your contact information. How can individuals learn more about the work that you're doing?
Absolutely. So my website is probably the best way to stay connected. The website is hbcuprepschool.com. And on social media, I'm pretty active on Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse, and that handle is HBCU Prep School.
HBCU Prep School. So exciting, Claudia.
Thank you so much for having me, Blair.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope to remain in contact, because I can just see the growth of this, particularly now, with the new lens on everything that is important and has always been important to our community. So definitely excited about your growth and trajectory.
Oh, thank you. I'd love to stay connected.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Okay. And a huge thank you to our first guest as well, Gloria Williams, founder of Unmute Me House. I am GloriaWilliams.com. You can take a look at the book that she's written and listen to the accompanying song. Connect with her as well on I am Gloria Williams via Facebook as well as Instagram. Thank you to Apex Financial Group of Virginia for proudly sponsoring the show, Milestone Mental Health Agency, as well as the COO team. And a tremendous thank you to Claudia Walker as well with HBCU Prep School, hbcuprepschool.com, as well as HBCU Prep School on Facebook and Instagram. Claudia, we commend you for the work that you're doing. And thank you for tuning into Black Wall Street today, where we're building minds, building connections, and forging the path ahead toward business success in the Black community.
This show was brought to you by the consulting services of Positive Vibes Incorporated. We do credit fixes, we do debt restructuring, and we put money in the pockets of real estate investors. So give us a call. We can fix your credit. We can restructure your debt. And if you're a real estate investor, I would love to put thousands of dollars into your pockets. 757-932-0177. That's 757-932-0177.
Phenomenal. Stay with us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram. And then follow us on Twitter as well at BWS Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said and I will continue to say that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party. Phenomenal.
Hey, yo, when I say black, you say Wall Street. Black Wall Street. When I say black, you say